The James Webb Space Telescope was launched on December 25, 2021. At the time, the estimated cost of the telescope was $10 billion. The James Webb Space Telescope, or JWST, will orbit the Sun around the second Lagrange point, or L2. That's nearly 1.5 million kilometers, or 1 million miles from Earth. The JWST is the largest and most powerful space telescope to date, as of 2026. It took nearly 30 days for the JWST to travel 1 million miles to its permanent home, L2. Here are a few brief facts. REDSHIFTED, the James Webb Space Telescope. Named after NASA's second administrator, the James Webb Space Telescope, JWST represents a massive leap in our ability to observe the cosmos. This telescope observes space through infrared light, meaning it sees through cosmic dust and see the very first galaxies. It can explore into deeper, distant space. It can see faint, red-shifted light from the early universe that is even invisible to the Hubble telescope. JWST is located at the Lagrange 2 or L2 point. That's about 1.5 million kilometers from Earth. This allows its sensitive infrared instruments to stay cold and stable without heat interference from Earth. Now, the redshift is the stretching of light waves towards longer, redder wavelengths as the universe expands, which is why JWST must look in infrared or through cosmic dust to see the most distant objects. Because JWST detects heat or infrared light, any warmth from the telescope itself or nearby planets would drown out the faint signals from distant galaxies. The deep cold of L2 or Lagrange 2 is essential for its eyes to work. The reason JWST is at L2 is because the Sun, Earth, and Moon are always in the same direction relative to the telescope. This allows JWST's massive sunshield to block the heat and light from all three bodies simultaneously, keeping the cold side of the telescope at a frigid minus 370 degrees or minus 223 degrees Celsius. Lagrange 2 or L2 is a point of gravitational equilibrium, where the pull of the Sun and Earth balance the orbital motion of the telescope. This allows JWST to stay in line with Earth as it orbits the Sun with minimal fuel for station keeping. Now, since the telescope stays in the same relative position to Earth, it can maintain a constant link with the deep space network to send data 24/7. Redshift is a phenomenon where the light from a distant object is stretched as it travels through space. For example, when you hear a siren, as the source of the sound moves away, the sound stretches away and the sound lowers, much like the light gets dimmer as it travels from the source to the telescope lens. In my opinion, I believe God created everything already, and with our limited technology, even today, we are just discovering more of His vast universe. For example, JWST can see galaxies that were formed approximately 180 million years after God's word said, "Let there be light," or God's announcement was so enormous, scientists call it a Big Bang. Let there be light, bang, the sun appears. And with every word God spoke, bang, creation was made. By the time the light from those initial galaxies reached JWST, the galaxy has aged 180 million years. But we only see the snapshot of what it looked like when the light first began its journey. Food for thought. The way the planets orbit the Sun, the distance between the Earth and Sun to create just the right atmosphere for life, and the perfect order of how the universe works must suggest some intelligence behind it. How can it be random? That's my opinion. You decide what is fact or fiction. In any case, God's Word explains how everything came to be. The JWST allows scientists and astronomers to see how stars form today and compare it to how stars evolved after creation in comparison. Besides studying the first stars and galaxies from approximately 13.5 billion years ago, JWST analyzes exoplanet atmospheres, or neighboring planets in our Milky Way galaxy, that may sustain life with evidence of water, chemical signatures, signs of habitability in rocky surfaces. In our galaxy alone, did you know there is an estimated 100 to 400 billion stars, with likely hundreds of billions to over 3 trillion planets orbiting them? Interesting fact, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 will take about 400 million years to orbit the Milky Way galaxy just once. When JWST looks out at the darkness of space in just one spot, it now discovers that there are millions of more stars that we have not seen. Some estimates go as high as 3.2 trillion planets in our Milky Way galaxy. Wow! Just a thought, if God has mankind living forever, doesn't it seem reasonable to believe that other planets will be available for humans to live on? If no one dies, everyone can't live on Earth alone. This could explain the billions of planets in this galaxy. As of 2026, JWST is deep into its mission, consistently challenging our fundamental understanding of how the universe began and evolved. Recent data from 2026 has shown that early galaxies grew much faster than predicted. They are more chemically enriched, containing more oxygen and carbon than existing models. Tested for their age-breaking records, for example, the telescope recently confirmed the galaxy Monsi 14, seen as it appeared just 280 million years after God spoke it into creation. JWST has detected little red dots in deep space. These are a new class of mysterious compact objects from the early universe. Scientists are currently debating whether these are dark stars, powered by dark matter, or hidden supermassive black holes. Dark stars are hypothetical early universe objects powered by annihilating dark matter rather than fusion, potentially appearing as massive, bright, yet cool stars that could evolve into early supermassive black holes. These objects may explain the surprisingly large early galaxies seen by the James Webb Space Telescope. Stay tuned for more interesting facts and videos. Fact or fiction, you decide.